This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, Dinesh. Welcome, Ashok. Thank you, Munir. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. So let us start. So this is our plan for today's session. Today we are discussing all about the concept of rebase. There is a concept of rebase in Git, so we'll be understanding what is rebase. How rebase is different from merge is very, very important. In the last session, we have discussed about merge. Am I right? In the last session, we have discussed about merge. In this session, we'll be discussing about the concept of rebase, and you should understand the difference between merge and rebase. Okay. So before starting this concept of rebase, quick recap what the merge will do. So Prashant, in the last session, we have discussed about the concept of merge, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So developer works with multiple branches. So by default, branches. What's the default branch?
Default branch is the master branch.
Default master branch is a master branch. Let's say you have some commits. You have some commits in the master branch, and developer creates a child branch, and then he has some commits. He has some commits in the child branch. Again, he, as per the requirement, he again switches to master branch, and he can work on anytime he can work on master branch, and he can proceed his task. What the merge will do, Prashant, can you explain what merge will do?
Merge will, of course, move the commits from the child branch to the master branch.
Perfect. Merge is all about moving the commits from the child branch to the master branch. So as of now, in this diagram, there are 3 commits which are there in the child branch. All the 3 commits will be added to the
Master branch.
master branch. Okay, so that's what the merge will do. So when you want to merge the code, we will merge it by using the commits. Fine. Now in case when you're merging it, how exactly the commits are added to the child branch in the linear fashion. Let's say this is a commit. Let's say this is a commit. This is B commit. C commit. D commit. E commit. Let's say this is F commit. This is J commit. Assuming when you merge it, so where the merge are getting added, the commits which are there in the child branch are added between B commit and F commit. Have you observed that? The commits are added in a linear fashion, as if you have written A, B, in the new commit will be added after C, D, E, and then you get the F commit and G commit. So that's how the commits are added when you perform merge. In this session, I want to discuss about a feature called as rebase. In this session, I want to discuss about a feature called as a rebase. When a developer needs to perform a rebase, whenever the code which is there in the child branch, you want that code to be the latest code in the master branch. Whenever the code which is there in the child branch, you want that code to be the latest working version of the code in the master. In that case, you go for rebase. In that case, we should go for performing rebase. So when you perform rebase, the commit history will be, when you perform rebase, as I said, rebase is all about getting the commits as the latest commits in the master. So in that case, when you perform rebase, the output of list of commits will be A, B, F, G, followed with C, D, E. C, D, E are the commits which are belonging to which branch? Are the commits which are belonging to child branch. The commits which are there in the child branch will become the latest working commits of the master branch. When you want this to be happen, then you need to go for concept of rebase. Clear, Nafis? When should we go for rebase? When the code wants to be the latest code in the master.
Yeah.
In that case, you go for rebase. In case of merge, that will not become the latest code. That will be just added in the linear fashion as per the timestamp which we have created the commits. That's it. Whenever you want the code from the child branch to be the latest version of the code in the master, that case we go for performing rebase. I hope you are all clearly understood when should we go for a rebase. We in the sense developers.
Hi, Sunil.
I told
I
you
have
from
a
the
quick
beginning.
question.
1 minute, please. So as I told you from the beginning, we should learn Git from the developer perspective. We should always learn Git from the developer perspective. And you know, Git is a source code management tool. You may never know how do you want to handle the source code when you're working in a project. So you are depending on one tool called Git for managing your source code. You may never know what kind of scenarios will help you to get the code in the child branch to be the latest version of the code in the master. In that case, we go for performing a rebase. Yes, Vidya.
Hi, Sunil. I have a quick question.
Please.
Yeah, in both case, rebase and merge, in both cases, the same is happening. So I couldn't find any difference.
In both the cases, the commits which are there in the child branch will be added to the master branch. In both the cases. But the point is in which order they are getting added is very, very important. When you perform a normal merge, after performing the normal merge, whenever you want to see list of all the commits, we know we have a command called git log. In case of normal merge, the commit history will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what in case of merge. Am I right, Vidya?
Yep.
Are you understanding? Whereas in case if you perform rebase, this will be the output when you perform git log. The order of the commit changes because whenever a developer wants the code which is there in the child branch to be the latest code in the master. In case of rebase, the head commit belongs to E. E is called as head commit. The order of the commit changes. So that's the difference when you go for rebase.
Okay, then in real time scenario, if you go for the.
In what scenario? I'm coming to the point. In what scenarios we should go for performing a rebase? Let's say when a developer is working on multiple functionalities. When developer is working on multiple functionalities, your client will request you to first process this code. The code which is belonging in the child branch to be processed in a pipeline for deployment. Client wants this code to be deployed first. Did you understand? Later, the master branch code needs to be deployed as a pipeline. Nafis, are you understanding? When client wants the code which is there in the master branch to be processed first, to be built as an artifact.
Okay.
Later, they want the process to master code. Got it?
Got it.
Here in normal merge, whatever you're just dumping it. But here we are moving the files to the latest files. So that the latest latest code will be processed. Then the master code gets processed. How do you achieve this? We can achieve this by using the concept of rebase. Clear? Clear about this? These are the cases where you perform a rebase. Okay. So in today's session, we'll see practicals. So first we'll have a scenario, one master branch and my child branch, and then we perform rebase. We'll also learn how can we perform rebase. And then the effect of rebase, how it looks like. We'll see this practically. Clear? Any questions? Ashok?
No, sir.
Perfect. Satyam Trivedi?
No, sir, clear.
Perfect. So let's have this scenario. Scenario is pretty simple. We perform git init, a master branch gets created. We create a file, we create a commit, create one more file, create a b commit, create a branch, check out to the child branch. All this will be a good revision for the previous class because we learn how to create a branch, how to check out from the master branch, child branch, create a file, create c commit, create file, d commit, e commit, and then checking back to master branch, create f commit and g commit, and then we'll see the git log of the master. When you perform git log of the master, you should get a, b, f, and g. Obviously, you will not get the commits of the child branch. So till this part we'll discuss, and then we'll learn how can we perform.
Sir, a quick doubt.
Yes, Dinesh.
Will developers create a files in Git Bash? No, right? They will be using something like Eclipse, something other than that, right?
IDE, integrated development environment.
Yeah. So they will create the files there and they will move to Git Bash, or else directly they will create in Git Bash.
What do you mean by moving to Git Bash?
No, you are saying like, I mean, like we need to create a file. We'll be moving files from untracked to staging area like that, right?
That happens after developing the source code, after saving the file.
Okay, they will save the file in their. Okay.
Let's say you're a developer. You got some requirement. You write some 100 lines of code. And you save the file first thing.
Save the file in our local system.
Obviously, this is all from the local system point of view. You will save the file somewhere in your D drive or E drive.
Okay.
You create one folder where you will save the code.
Okay.
The moment you save the code, then Git starts it as identifies that file is a
untracked file. Okay. No. We are creating normal files in Git Bash itself, right? Directly, like touch using touch.
Here you are creating by using touch command, but practically we will not create touch command. We'll create it using IDE, what it is, Eclipse.
Okay.
No matter whether you're creating the file from the touch command or creating a file from other application, the file everything is considered as an untracked, isn't it? The concept.
Okay. So and then after creating using ID something from local system, we'll be moving to
the additional responsibility what you need to take as a developer.
Okay. So and one more thing, like
from the staging area, move the files to the local repository.
Okay. Normally commit is used to save, right? But here it is used to move from staging to local repository.
Yes. Normally in the sense.
I mean, like in other. No, not in Git Bash. Some other normal commit used to save.
Don't compare commit with respect to database where we make the changes.
Okay. Yeah. That is different. Okay, Sundar. Thank you.
Yes, Nafis.
We are putting all in local repositories. Everything is binded with the Git. As of now, it is not any relation with the Git Bash. So, is there any, database level entries happening, because it is already we have init, the command is init. We have configured with this thing. So, how you get the information or log anything? We can get it from somewhere.
What kind of information you're looking for?
If we see other systems of managing source code.
Now you will get the clarity enough is when we upload it into the global remote.
Okay. No worries.
Creating a new folder. What is the terminal? Git Bash. I am a developer, so I want to save the source code in the project folder. So I open the terminal from here and I write a command called that's converted into working directory. Look at the series of steps what I need to do. Look at the series of steps. So first step, create a file. I do it quickly by using touch command. Move it into staging area, A commit. Touch command, moving into staging area, B commit. Create a branch. So all these are familiar. I quickly do that. Look at the series of commands which are on it, and now you also please practice it. Done. Satyam, how to create a new branch? I want to create a branch with the name test.
Git branch and the branch name, that is test.
Did you try?
Yes, sir, I
example?
practiced, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
Very good. Are you working Steve currently now?
No, sir, I have completed my graduation.
Oh.
So looking forward job.
So you are fresher?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I created a branch, a checkout. Right now I'm currently pointing to master branch. When you check out, you'll be pointing to test branch. In the test branch, I created a file called T1. Naming conventions, all the files which are there in the master branch, I'm starting with F, and the files which are created in the child branch, I'm starting with T. It does not practically makes any difference for our comfortability. Git commit -m. See, I'm directly writing the commands in the Git bash itself. So I don't have a list of all the commands so that I'll send you as a running notes. Okay, because all these are very simple. Next, one more comment, right? E commit. A, C, D, E. I want to go back to master. Back to master. In the master branch, I'll create one more file, F1, F2, F3. F commit. G commit. Git log here. I want to see it in one line. How many commits you get it? When I'm git log, you'll get the commits which are belonging to master branch: A commit, B commit, F commit, and G commit. A commit, B commit, F commit, and G commit, at least pointing to G commit. You already are. This is what we expected. Now, when you directly merge, the commits are added between B and F. In a linear fashion, the commits will be added. I want the commits which are there in the child branch to be the latest commits of the master. In that case, we go for rebase. How to perform rebase is very important. Remember, to perform rebase, you need to go to child branch. What is a child branch? Test. Go to child branch. And then rebase master. This is important. You need to go to child branch and rebase master. Git rebase master. Rebase is done. And then after rebase, you need to merge. After rebase, you need to merge. Don't think that rebase is a replacement of merge. Without merge, I perform rebase. No. At any point of time, if you want to get the commits from the child branch to the master branch, you need to merge. The only way to get the commits from the child branch to the master branch is merging. Here, I'm performing rebase, then merge. So I'm right down done with rebase. Now I want to merge it. When you want to merge, obviously you need to go to master branch and pull the child branch. So git checkout master and then merge. Git merge. What's the child branch? Test. The only way to get the commits is merge. So don't think that rebase is a alternative to merge. No, it's an extra command. You need to do it before merging. And then after rebase, you need to merge the test branch. Merging is done. As part of merging, what happens as we have done rebase, now the effect is this feature, what it will do, the commits which are belonging in the child branch will become the latest commits. Okay, fine. Let's look at it. Git log -- one line. Observe the commit history. A, B, F, G. These are all belonging to which branch? Master branch. C, D, E. Actually, C, D, E are belonging to which branch? Test branch. Those commits which are belonging in the test branch are becoming the latest commits of the master. And head is pointing to what? E. Head is pointing to E. So whenever you want the commits in the child branch to be the latest commits of the master, perform an extra command called rebase and then later merge. When we perform rebase and merge, the commits that are belonging in the child branch will become the latest of the master. This is important from the interview point of view. What is the difference between merge and rebase? This is the first difference. Did anybody observe other difference? Gopi, there is one more difference. Did anybody observe the second difference when you perform rebase? Any other difference? When you perform merge, a regular merge, do you remember as part of merging process, a new commit got created, Prashant? Yes, Ananya, you're right.
Yes.
When you perform a normal merge, as part of merging, you get your commits as well as you get an extra commit that gets created when you perform a merge. When you perform rebase and merge, you are not getting an extra commit and then you get only the commits which are belonging in the child branch to be the latest of the master. That's it. The additional commits will not be created. Clear about this is one more difference between merge and rebase. Important from the interview point of view. Go to child branch and rebase master. Then go to master branch and pull the child branch by merge. That's what developer needs to do so that his code from the child branch becomes the latest code of the master. This is about rebase. Rashekar, any questions? Hi Ramya, is this clear? Are you following? Any questions from here? Perfect. We have experienced the rebase. I have one image also to show you how exactly the rebase is graphically represented. Look at this graphical representation of rebase. This is master. This branch is master. This is a child branch. The name of the child branch is feature. When you perform rebase, the commits which are there in the child branch are jumping to the master branch at front. The feature branch is moving towards the front of master. So this is process first. Very nice representation of how exactly rebase works. Okay. Let's proceed. So you understood when should we go? You understood what is rebase, and you also have understood the difference between merge and rebase. Rearranging the commit history.
Still, what if we have 2 to 3 sub branches? I mean, like under master
Apply the
branch, if we
same
have
concept. Apply the same
okay.
concept.
So rebase can be done between 2 branches, or else
All these features of Git can be done between parent and child. Okay. I'm
it's
saying
not
parent
between
and
2 childs.
master. Parent.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, sir.
Hi, Sunil.
Yes.
If I want to revert back the reverse, what could be the commands?
I will tell you when we discuss how to perform rollback. Okay. We are coming up in the coming classes. Anyways, Git helps in version controlling. How can we revert back? We'll discuss. Okay.
Okay.
Rearranging the commit history. What do you mean by rearranging the commit history? Let's have a fresh scenario again. Creating a fresh folder again. What do you mean by rearranging the commit history? Please look at this. Let's say this is a branch. Assume it's a master branch. Developer creates a file. Later he moves into staging area and moves into local repository, creates a commit called a commit, b commit, c commit, d commit, e commit. This says performing some series of commits. What do you mean by commit? What do you mean by commit? Commit is nothing but a mark. Developer has developed some source code and he has achieved some progress. He has achieved some milestone, so he'll mark it as a commit. Commits are nothing but a series of progress done by the developer as per the client requirements. So he has done some source code change, source code development, and he has created a commit called as a commit followed with b commit. C commit, D commit, E commit. This is a series of commits. Has done it. Okay. So first let's read this and then we'll learn how can we rearrange the commits. Rearranging the commits is nothing but changing the order of the commit. Okay. So first let's experience this. A, B, C, D, E. So I write series of commands. F1. A commit. B commit. C commit. D commit. E commit. As usual, A, B, C, D, E. A is the first commit and A, B, C, D, E is latest commit. Later head is always pointing to latest commit. That's it. This is the order of the commits developer has done it. Now the requirement is A commit. After A, I want D commit, not the B. C is as it is. I want to have B here. I want to have E here. I want to change the order of the commits. I want to change the order of the commits. Now, how can we change the order of the commit? By using the command called rebase. Rebase is having multiple functionalities. Rebase is having multiple functionalities. First functionality, which we have just discussed, the commits which are there in the child branch to be the latest commits of the master, that's also rebase. Rebase is also used for rearranging the commits. Rearranging the commits can also be done by using rebase. And first point you need to keep it now, take a note. We cannot change the order of the first commit. We cannot change the order of the first commit. A commit is fixed. You cannot change the order of the A. Remaining how many commits you can change? B, C, D, E, all these commits you can change it. So remaining 4 commits you can change it. So the command to change the order, look at this command. Git rebase -I stands for interactive mode. I stands for interactive mode. Head ~4. We have remaining out of 5. How many commits you want? You have scope to change 4. Interactive, I stands for interactive. So what happens? The interactive terminal gets open. Please observe here. Interactive terminal gets open. A is fixed, so you are not getting A, and later you're getting the next 4 commits. After A, you want the next commit as B. So change the lines the way you want to see. For example, I go to insert mode as I want to make some changes. How to go to insert mode? Like in VI editor, insert key. I want the D commit to be the second commit. So paste. Sorry. I'm sorry. insert, pick up the D, paste it as you want the second commit to be the D commit. Don't want D now here. Pick up the B, you don't want B here. Paste it after C. Just order the lines whichever you feel comfortable. Yes, you have changed the order. Go to insert mode, just copy paste the order in which you want to do it. Escape to come out of the insert mode, :WQ to save and quit. Now if you say git log -1 line, here you're getting after A, you're getting B here. Now after A, you should get D here. Please observe here. After A, you're getting the D here. C is as is, and now the B is and latest commit is E. So are you able to change the order? Have you successfully changed the order, Gopi? You have done it by using the concept of rebase, second functionality.
Yes,
Got it, Gopi?
yeah.
What is the first functionality? The first functionality is getting the commits from the child branch and added as the latest commits of the master. That's the first functionality. Second functionality of rebase is changing the order of the commits. You're able to do it by using the concept of rebase. Okay. Yes. So you also know how can we rearrange the commit history. Next. How to merge the commits. Don't confuse merging with respect to the merging the child branch with the master branch. That's different. What do you mean merging the commits? Please look at this. Developer creates some source code files. He'll move it into staging area and creates an A commit. Creates few more files. He proceeds some progress work in the project. B commit, C commit, D commit, E commit, F commit. Like this, whenever he changes, whenever he achieves a particular milestone, he'll marking it as commits. And now, once he sees the git log, in our case, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commits. He thinks that there are too many commits, too many milestones which are marked. Let's say there's no importance for these milestones. He wants to remove the commits. As of now, let's say he's at the beginning, he's creating A commit, B commit, C commit, D commit, E commit, F commit. Now he thinks that he don't want this B and C. The requirement is he wants to remove those commits as if he has done a progress of A commit. You don't want B and C, you want D, E, F. You want to remove these commits. He thinks that there are too many commits, the unnecessary commits. Maybe at that point of time, he thinks it was important. Now it's no more important. You don't want to maintain these milestones. You don't want to maintain this progress in the project. Directly from A, he wants to move to B. He wants to remove some commits. How can you remove commits? Again, by using the rebase. Rebase third functionality. Third functionality of rebase is whenever you don't want a particular commits, you can you can erase this by using rebase. Okay, let's proceed. How can we erase the commits by using the concept of rebase? So to do that, I think we can do it here. Let's say here we have A, B, C, D, E. Fine, A, B, C, D, E. So we don't have F here. Don't worry. We have 5 commits. And I want to erase B and C. Or here I want to erase, okay, D and C. Whatever it is you want to erase. Remember, you cannot erase the first commit. We cannot erase the first commit. We cannot remove the first commit. Okay, so remaining 4 options, same command. Whatever the command we have used it for rearranging the commit order, I will use the same command. Let's say I don't want C commit and B commit. These two commits which I don't want. Whenever you don't want these two, whichever the commits you don't want, go to insert mode. Let's say I don't want C commit. Replace the word pick with the word squash. Replace the word pick with squash. Escape. Save and quit. So which one I have removed? I think I have removed C commit. Now git log. A, B, have you find C here? No, so replace as if you have after B, you have done after this one, you have done next commit. Did you erase the commits? Munir, have you removed the commits? Unnecessary.
Yes.
See, after doing lot of progress, few milestones we don't need it, isn't it? Maybe at that point of time, client has given some requirements. Okay, we have finished it. Maybe the very few changes you don't need the milestone, you can remove it. When you find too many commits, you can remove it by using the word squash. Replace the word pick with squash. Squashing is nothing but erasing.
Yes.
Deleting. Perfect. You also know how can we merge the commits. Merging is nothing but merging with other commits. Perfect. Any questions, Srinivas?
No questions. No.
Okay, thank you. Next. We have a feature in Git called as cherry pick feature. In Git, we have a feature called as cherry pick. Cherry pick. What is cherry pick? Master branch. Let's say you have created an A commit. You have created a B commit. You have created a child branch. Let's say the child branch is test. In the child branch, you have created C, D, E. Okay, this is a master and child branch. What happens, Prashant, when I merge the test branch to the master branch? When I merge the child branch to its master branch, the commits which are there in the child branch will be added to the master. Am I right, Prashant? How many commits we have in the child branch? 3 commits. So all the 3 commits will be added to the
Master branch.
Now the point is I don't want to add all the commits. I want to selectively pick up some commits, specific commits. Out of 3, I want to only pick up this commit and add it to master. I want to only add this commit and add it to master. Whenever you want to selectively pick up some commits which are there in the child branch and add it to its master branch, in that case, this feature is called as cherry pick. Cherry pick feature is all about picking the commits which you want and adding it to its master branch. Let's say here, this is A commit, B commit, C commit, D commit, E commit. Now you want to add only C commit and D commit. You don't want to add D commit. You want to selectively pick up specific commits from the child branch and add it to the master. Okay, the functionality of the child branch
or the master branch you can do.
Whenever you want to pick up the child branch commits, add it to the master. Okay, that
So
case it's
only
called as
child.
child. So this feature is called as cherry pick. So if you want to perform this, so first let's have the scenario. Initializing it into working directory. Series of commands: touch file1, commit, file2, commit, branch creation, creating file, commit, creating file, commit, creating file, commit. Okay, so let's complete this activity. Git branch test checkout test t1 c. D. A commit, B commit, C, D, E. Fine. I want to switch to master right now in test branch. I want to switch to master. In the master, you get only two commits, as we all know, A and B. So you will not get the commits of the child branch. Which commits you want to pick up? C commit and D commit you want to pick up. Remember, every commit will have a unique number that is called as a commit ID. Every commit will have a unique number that is called as a commit ID. You observe here, this is the commit ID 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the digit, unique number for commit IDs. Whenever you want to selectively pick up the commits, you want to take a note of the commit IDs. You want to take a note of the C commit and D commit. How can I see the note? Because C commit or D commit belongs to child branch. So go to checkout to test. Get the git log information. Get the commit IDs. What is the C commit ID? This is the C. Copy. I'm taking a note of it. And you want one more commit. What commit? E commit. Take a note of the commit ID. E commit. I want two commits to be picked up. Git cherry pick is the keyword. And clearly mentioning which commits you want to pick up. Done. In the master branch, previously we used to get only A commits and B commits. A commit, B commit, C commit as well as E commit. Did you get the commits from the child branch? Nafis, are you able to get the commits? Not all the commits, Nafis. You have selectively picked up the commits whichever you want. Okay, and you are able to get that commits in the master branch. So cherry pick is a feature which helps you to pick up the commits which are there, whichever is required from the child branch and add it to the master branch. This is about cherry pick. This is how we can selectively pick up the commits from the child branch to master branch. All these are very, very important. Very important. Many people think that, people say Git is version controlling. Yes, it is version controlling. But here we are not learning anything called version controlling. We are only managing the source code. So it is also called as SCM tool, source code management tool. It handles the source code. You may never know what kind of projects, what kind of technologies, what kind of source code changes. What Git should support all the technologies, all the requirements. Using all these features, you're managing the source code. The pick selective pickups, making the commits to be the latest commits, all this rebase, rearranging the commits. Whenever you don't want, you can remove all this. So all these are very, very important. And remember, I repeat again, Git is from the developer perspective. So we are learning all these commands, Sunil. So do we do these commands once we get as a DevOps engineer? No, we will never do this. Are we the people who will be selectively picking up the commits from the child branch of the developer tool? It's developer's responsibility to do this. We instruct the developers to do it. So every developer is expected to have some basic knowledge of Git to handle these kind of source code management operations. Clear about this? This is what I have planned for today's session. Very, very important. Please practice. Last session we have learned about branching concept and how exactly we can perform merging, and then we are discussing about the rebase concept today. Okay, there's something called stashing concept in Git. We'll be discussing about stashing concept. I will discuss about, there's a feature called amending. What is Git amend feature? We'll discuss about that. I will discuss about version controlling tomorrow. We'll also discuss about the version control. How can we roll back to the previous version of the source code using Git? We'll also discuss about a remote repository called GitHub. Once the developer moves into local repository, what's the next thing? Don't think your job is completed. Developer needs to push the code into GitHub repository. What is GitHub repository? How can we perform uploading the code into GitHub repository? So these are our plans for our tomorrow session. Clear? So today's session, please practice it. And one more point. So this is the notes what you get it. See, a very small notes, because everything I have shown you practically by writing the commands. You don't have commands here. Okay, so this notes you'll get it as well as the PPT you'll get it. So go through the video and then get ready for tomorrow's session where we'll learn many more concepts about Git. Okay. Any questions? Gopi?
Hello. Hello.
You're a little late.
Yeah, Sunil.
Today?
No.
You are at right time?
No. Yes.
Okay. Tell me.
One small doubt, Sunil. Yesterday when extracting GU, Git from folder, project folder, .git file is not created, but in Git Bash I'm getting the master, like you said to do, check the two observations. Right?
One observation is the terminal you'll get in the brackets master. That's the observation. Second observation is a folder gets created with the name .git.
But for me it is not creating. I have checked with in another folders also. .git is not creating. So okay. I've done the same process what we have done, but not getting.
Okay. .git is what folder? It's a hidden folder.
Yes.
Then generally, if you want to see hidden files or hidden folders, in your laptop, the folder option should be hidden items should be selected. Then only you can see the hidden files and hidden folders. Okay. So coming to our one, can you see .git here? I'm able to see it. So if I remove this, even I am not able to see the hidden folder. So the folder option, personal laptop or desktop, make sure that the hidden files are also should be displayed.
Okay, I will check now. And Sunil, I mean, using this Git, previously when I have done, I mean, developer job, we have not done all these things. We directly gone to the GitHub and we press one button and then completely it was done automatically. So will that happen every time or?
In case if a required development team notes, so let's say you are not, that's a more simplified version of development. Okay, it's not compulsory that every development team uses Git for source code management. There are development teams who just does not use any source code management. But if there is a requirement, you should be able to do it, especially when you are implementing DevOps. There are cases where the development team, we insist them to use Git for source code management. Okay, because sometimes the client says that just let's say you have one master branch and child branch. Sometimes client don't want to process the master branch. Their client wants the feature or the functionality which is there in the child branch to be processed first. So this kind of cases you cannot manually do it. Okay, so in that case you need to manually pick up the files and then develop it an artifact. Whereas if you use Git, it becomes simplified on a long run.
And one more small
learn about Jenkins, how important the Git is. Yeah.
Okay. And one more small note. While after completion of project, we used to save the code in folders and subfolders. But now, what is this essence of doing this all things like commits and everything? I mean, the thing what you are saying is I am getting
the same thing what Nafis you are referring to, isn't it? I think Dakil is referring.
Yeah, I think he is also asked for the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, still we are on our local machine. We have done commit.
These are all
the commit means
whatever
you are putting
I'm
your
showing
source
you,
code into the.
Yes, Nafis is correct. So whatever we are showing you, Akhil, it is from an individual developer. You are an individual developer. This is doing it in your individual laptop. Your commits will not to other person's work or something like this, specific to your local laptops. Okay. So look at this. Let's say a simple development team of 3 developers. Akhil, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. Okay. To be more simplified, let's say all these 3 developers are working on a web application or website web development. Okay. So developer 1 is working with login page. Developer 2 is working with some services page. Developer 3 is working with some contractors page, as well as registrations page. Like this, every developer works on specific requirements, isn't it? So let's say you are a developer, this is your laptop, so you open a folder, you will place one, let's say in your desktop you'll save some files, you convert that particular, you have created some 10 files related to login page, that 10 files, you move it into staging area and move it into local repository.
Okay.
Where is local repository? It's in your laptop only.
Yes, in our laptop only.
Like this, every developer moves the files into the
local repository.
Staging area. From the staging area, they move into local repository. Why they named it as local? Because local to their machine.
Okay.
But for if you want to deliver the project to the client, it's not individual developers code. The complete code should be placed in one centralized location, isn't it?
Correct.
So what developer will do? Every developer, after moving the files into the local repository, he'll push those files which are there in the local repository to the remote repository.
Yes.
So if every developer is creating 10 files, 10 plus 10 plus 10, total how many files the total developer, total team project files is having 30 files. So the total 30 files will be available in the centralized repository.
Correct.
This centralized repository from the Git perspective is called as GitHub.
GitHub, yes.
Once the files are available in the central repository, you can have a clear visuality which files are belonging to which developer and all those. And which files are belonging to which commits. You can see the commits also. Okay.
But previously also it is in our laptop only, no?
Which one?
I mean, like by saving with the folders and subfolders also will be in our local repository.
In your local repository, yes, now. Let's say, for example, your laptop is damaged, your laptop is crashed. Okay, so how do you recover the source code? So it's always good. It's always good to once the files have been see why? Because what do you do with this 30 files? Let's say the complete source code is available in the GitHub repository, project source code. Okay. So what do you do with the source code? What is the next thing you do?
Yeah. I mean, we'll be moving to another team.
Which team?
A testing team.
Okay. Let's say if it is an application. Let's say it's a web application. Testing team will access the testing application only when it is hosted on a web server like Tomcat or something like that,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
So what you will do? Convert the source code into a artifact.
Okay.
Okay. To convert into an artifact, what is artifact? All this I'll explain it.
Okay.
Convert it to artifact, not individual developer. You need to have the complete source code of the entire development team. Then only it will be converted into an artifact. What is artifact? All this will have a complete exposure about the life cycle, complete product development cycle. Day to day, you'll understand it. Okay. So, especially when you're implementing DevOps methodology, you have to upload it into the remote repository. So all this is a methodology. What DevOps suggests for the complete development team. Let's say, Akhil, let's say there are development projects which they don't use remote repository also, like GitHub. No, they'll not use it. They create one more folder, something like a cloud folder, something like you can have any folder, right? Or any cloud directory, and then we'll upload it into there, and then we'll have one centralized location, or we'll have one separate machine, a server where we'll upload the files in. If using FTP also, you can upload it to one centralized server where you have all the 30 files. Need not be in GitHub, in a centralized server also. It can be done, is it, Akhil? There also you can convert it to an artifact. It's not compulsory that you should use GitHub. But if you use DevOps methodology, you have to use source code management tools. You need to use remote repositories. You need to convert into an artifact. Everything should be on cloud.
Okay.
That's what methodology suggests.
Okay.
So this process is for clients who are not using DevOps methodology. This process is the clients which are using DevOps methodology. Everything should be on cloud. Okay, Akhil, clear?
Yeah, clear. Thank you, Sunil.
Sunil, you said like developers will first move to local repository, then from there to remote repository called GitHub, right? What is the use of moving it to local repository? They can directly move to remote repository, right?
You cannot do that. You cannot directly move the files to remote. You have to do it from local repository.
Okay. So is there any advantage for moving to local?
Yes, there is an advantage. You will see the list of all the commits and all. These are advantages. We'll see when
Okay.
It should be through local. Directly you cannot upload to GitHub.
Okay. So even if our system crashes, the local repository will be crashed, right?
Even the local repository is crashed, that's not a serious problem. Okay, you will get it from the GitHub.
Okay.
Sometimes you want to synchronize with a GitHub repository, you can do that.
Okay, Sunil. Okay.
Everything can be done. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you tomorrow, same time, where we'll learn many more concepts related to it. Okay. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you, Ananya, Sandhya, Trivedi. Thank you, Vikas. Thank you, one and all. Bye-bye.
Thanks.